Jim Hart went from being an undrafted free agent to becoming one of the best players in St. Louis Cardinals/Arizona Cardinals history. After being forced into the starting position in his second year in the league, Hart molded himself into an NFL quarterback. After 18 seasons in St. Louis, he left the team holding every significant passing record and having played more seasons than any other Cardinal ever had. He also left as arguably the best quarterback in franchise history. James Warren Hart was born April 29, 1944, in Evanston, Illinois. He attended Niles West High School in Skokie, Illinois. After he graduated high school, Hart received the scholarship to attend Southern Illinois University. While he was there, Hart set school career passing record with 3,779 yards. He also threw 34 touchdown passes in 3 seasons. Despite that, Hart was undrafted after coming out of college in 1966. However, Jim's college head coach, Don Schroyer, had gotten a job as a coach with the NFL St. Louis Cardinals. As a result, Schroyer was able to get Hart a tryout with the Cardinals. In spite of that good fortune, Hart faced long odds as he headed into camp as the 6th quarterback on the depth chart. At best, Hart was happy to be in camp for 2 reasons. First, he was getting paid $1,000 just to be there. Next, he was hopeful that he could at least play well enough to draw attention from some other team if he wasn't able to make the Cardinals team. Having said that, after cuts and military obligations removed some of his competition, Hart made the team as a backup to incumbent starter Charlie Johnson. His salary for making the team? $12,000 a year. Hart credits Charlie Johnson with mentoring him and helping him learn how to be a quarterback in the NFL. After only playing in 1 game as a rookie, Hart was thrown into the fire in 1967. Why? Due to a military obligation, Johnson had left the team in the middle of the 1966 season. In his absence, backup Terry Knopfsinger had been ineffective. In 5 starts, Knopfsinger won only 1 game, completed only 42% of his passes, and threw only 2 touchdowns. After the season was over, Knopfsinger was traded to the Atlanta Falcons. This meant that the inexperienced Hart was now the Cardinals' starting quarterback. Considering the circumstances, he acquitted himself reasonably well as he won 6 games and threw 19 touchdown passes. Hart's best seasons would coincide with the arrival of new head coach Don Coryell in 1973. In fact, Hart would have his best season in 1974. He led the NFL in pass attempts and finished second in passes completed while throwing 20 touchdown passes, only 8 interceptions, being named second team All-Pro, and also being named to the Pro Bowl. On top of that, he was named the UPI NFC Player of the Year, led the Cardinals to their first division title in nearly 30 seasons, and led them to the playoffs for the first time since 1948. To prove it was no fluke, Hart led the Cardinals to another Eastern Division title and playoff appearance in 1975. And a surprising statistic, he was sacked only 6 times during that entire regular season. From 1974 to 1976, Hart led the Cardinals to 3 straight 10-win seasons. His biggest weapons on offense were wide receiver Mel Gray and do-it-all running back Terry Metcalf. He also had a standout offensive line that was anchored by perennial All-Pro and future Hall of Famer Dan Dierdorf. When asked about the connection that he had with Gray, Hart had a simple explanation for their success with throwing deep bombs. Hart threw the ball as hard and as far as he possibly could, knowing that Gray would use his blazing speed to hit a second gear and catch up to it. We're going to take a time out from our story to ask you to like, subscribe, share, comment, hit that notification bell, and repeat when it comes to our videos. Now, back to our story. After losing star dual-threat running back Terry Metcalf to the Toronto Argonauts of the Canadian Football League, the Cardinals also dismissed disgruntled head coach Don Coryell following the 1977 season. As a result, the years 1978 to 1981 represented a marked downturn in Hart's production. He never again had a winning season, nor had a season where he threw more touchdowns than interceptions. Hart's last season as the full-time starter was the strike-shortened 1981 season. The following year, he was replaced as a starter by Neil Lomax. Hart's final start for the Cardinals was in Week 4 of the 1983 season. He completed 12 of 19 passes for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns, leading the Cardinals to a 14-11 win over the division rival Philadelphia Eagles. Hart played his entire Cardinals career in St. Louis, as he was released following the 1983 season. He then signed with the Washington Redskins, where he served as the backup to Joe Theismann. Hart's final game as a pro would come in the 1984 divisional playoffs, as the Redskins were defeated by the Chicago Bears 23-19. Hart retired following that season at age 40. Hart had a distinguished career, as he was named Pro Bowler 4 times. He also won 87 games as a starter. He led the Cardinals to 20 fourth-quarter comebacks during his career. He's also the Cardinals' all-time leader in pass attempts, pass completions, passing yards, and touchdown passes. Hart was inducted into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame in 1998 and was also inducted into the Cardinals Ring of Honor in 2017, an honor that was a long time coming. We hope you enjoyed our story about St. Louis Cardinals legend Jim Hart. He's a quarterback who came out of nowhere to lead the Cardinals to heights they hadn't seen since the 1940s. However, over 40 years after his retirement, many are unfamiliar with his accomplishments. Hopefully this opens some of those people's eyes as to how good Jim Hart was. Thanks for checking out our video. Please take time to check out our stories that we've already completed, while also being sure to come back to check out the ones that we complete in the future. Thanks again, and see you soon.